morning, boys and girls of the internet. Today is Wednesday, December 5th, 2018. This is B-Vlog number 338. And I watch a lot of different varying YouTube channels related to photography and things like that. And one guy I started watching, he primarily focuses on boudoir photography, which, as you may know, I do enjoy. I do it, often with my, model friends. They requested, they want to do it, and they seem to enjoy my work. And this guy, he's obviously made a successful business for himself. He lives in LA. And I know I've only just started watching it for a couple of weeks, but as I know, he started photography kind of basic, like almost how anybody starts something fresh and new and like a business like that. And he started doing photography for like high school graduation photos and stuff like that. And it builds up from there, wedding videos, photography, and all that stuff. And now he just focuses primarily, actually solely, on boudoir photography. And I guess like in the last year or so, he moved from Colorado to LA. And I'm assuming that someplace like LA is a very, very good location for that kind of thing. Because your clientele, they're usually a lot more photogenic in cities like that. Miami, LA, and New York, San Fran, all those type of places where it attracts money and it attracts pretty people. I'm not saying anything, negative about it. I'm saying that that's an obvious fact. Those type of cities attract pretty people. That's what I like. All kinds of small towns across America. You get these models coming out of them, but they don't stay in those towns. They move to the coasts to pursue modeling careers, because that's where it is. That's where it's at. That's not what I'm talking about for this episode. He had an episode that he was on his YouTube channel. I guess he does a little spotlight interviews of other photographers, and they talk about aspects of the business. So they don't just talk about photography and just that's it. They actually talk about business. And I was very interested in what this one guest of his had to say. He was talking to this woman who does very good work. I've seen her on Instagram. But work that, not to toot my own horn, but I look at her work. I'm like, I can do that, or nearly that, I should say. I think my work can be of almost equal caliber. However, this woman, and I had no idea this was possible. I mean, probable, because the guy, I know he makes a living off of it, and I don't know how comfortable a living he makes off it. But this girl, she must hustle, because she said, and I quote, that as of the interviews, I'm assuming done in late November, pretty recently, before the year's out, she just crossed over $400,000 in earnings. That was her revenue. That was her gross revenue. That's before, of course, travel expenses and equipment costs and rent, whatever. That's before all that, of course. But $400,000 fucking dollars. I was blown away. I had to pause the video and go back and go, what? I'm like, I had no idea there was that much money in boudoir photography. That's all she does. That's all she fucking does. I am just saying it now. I can't believe it. And the year's not up yet. She says, she hopes to make a little more than that, maybe like 420, 430 this year. Jesus Lord, she's making comfortable living, and she said she only started in 2012. I can see like photographers that have been doing this for like 20 years and built themselves a reputation and a business. Because she was mentioning that just today, Facebook it notifies you of remember this, and it kind of gives you a little thing. This happened this day and so many years ago. She said in 2012, it reminded me of a flyer that she put out, advertising a session, a half-hour session for photos, for 50 photos on a disc, for $100. And she was like, I can't believe I only charge $100. That's ridiculous. And she was just laughing about it. I mean, everybody gets their start somewhere. I mean, she kind of like glossed over like her life, and then kind of talked about how the path of her photography went, and she's done a lot of things. She didn't just start in boudoir and that's all she did. She did a lot of things. She's not an older lady. She looks way younger than me, at least. She was like late 20s, early 30s. But man, she must hustle. And I can go. I'll go into this more, but she was mentioning about the psychology of how she advertised herself. But like anything, you have to start off small. And when I looked at that, I was like, okay, yeah, she started off only charging $100, and then she went up from there. And I'm thinking, I've seen local photographers in my state of New Mexico offering similar type of prices. Like, let's do a, it's a Valentine's Day special, surprise your love with, some sensual photos. $100. Because the way I'm thinking, whatever this lady on this video charges now for her photography, there's no way anybody in the state of New Mexico would pay her for that. And I have no qualms of saying this, but New Mexico's not a rich state. We don't have very many rich people here. We are very, very middle class. I'm not saying we're, a poor state. We're not, but we do have a lot of people here that are cheap. I've never once asked for money for my photography, and I've been doing all trade because I feel that I'm paying my dues by doing trade. Maybe I'm underselling myself. Maybe I need to stop that. But just looking at like Facebook groups of local photographers and how models are talking, how photographers are talking to each other, and this way they interact and the way they talk about experiences. Such and such model goes, I got a photographer reach out to me, want to do a photo shoot with me for a trade shoot, and I don't do a shoot at trade. I'm a model. I want the photographer to pay me. Then you have the other side where the photographer is like, the model came to me, wanted a photo shoot with me, and didn't want to pay me. She wanted to do a trade shoot. And so you get things like that. I know there's a lot of aspects of the business. If the model and photographer are mutually, I'm going to very loosely say these rules. These are kind of unwritten rules. If the model and photographer are mutually wanting to work on a collaboration together, they can sure as well do the collaboration in a trade type of way. When I say trade, that's like trade my time for your time. You know, it's my time to take the photos, edit the photos, give them to you. It's your time to, you know, do all the posing, do your makeup, do whatever, and that's it. You know, no money exchanges hands. It's just time for time. Now, there's the other side where there is payment to go across. Now, from a photographer's perspective, a photographer gets paid by a model when the model is coming to the photographer for a project that is in her mind, and for certain reasons. Like, say if the model needs headshots, so that she can give headshots to modeling agencies. Well, that's not free. She should be paying the photographer for that, because that's her asking for his business. Also, if on the flip side, if the photographer is all like, I got a gig that a magazine or something or local business wants to give me money to shoot a fashion photography for their website or whatever, I need to hire a model and get her to pose for me for this project. So yes, in that terms, the photographer is paying the model. Those are very basic, rules. There's a lot more nuance to it. But so when it comes to, like, say a boudoir photography, unless like a photographer is doing a boudoir photography for like a magazine spread, like he's doing it for like Playboy. I'm sure Playboy, in that instance, they're paying the photographer to take the pictures and also paying the model to pose for those pictures. I don't think the photographer in that instance is paying the model, because he's not hiring the model, the magazine is. But when she was mentioning how much she earns, I'm like, there's no way that, someone in New Mexico is going to really fork that out for that type of photography. I can see for like weddings are expensive, and it's an all-day thing, and it's a lot of work. And yeah, when weddings are costing, $20,000, paying $3,000 for a photographer is just a good portion of it. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Those are prices for photographers, for a good photographer, I should say. Now, what she was mentioning, I forget exactly what she was saying, but I saved the video so I can go back and reference it, is that she puts like packages together. She's not just taking the photos and you're giving people the digital files and do with it what you will, and pay me $2,000. No, what she does is sees packages where they get like prints and they get like wall art and like books made of the photography. So it's like a package deal. So they're getting some, the person hiring to take the photos, they're getting something more tangible out of it. And another thing she mentioned, this is going back to what I said about the psychology of how she prices herself, is that she, of course, on her site, she has the most expensive package on top, and it goes down from there. But she's mentioned that she only has the most expensive package up there because nobody buys it. And you're thinking, what? Why? Because they go look at the lower packages, because the higher packages, it's overpriced for a reason, to make the other packages look better, look like a better deal. So when someone looks at her site, it's like, ooh, man, that's expensive. Oh wait, look at this here. This seems like a bigger deal. I'm getting more pictures. I'm getting like these type of pictures. I'm getting this and that, and that's a lot more reasonable compared to the one up there. So it's like, oh, why should I pay like $2,500 for this this package here? This one over here, I get a lot of the same, but some things are different, and it just seems like a better deal. And it's like $1,000 less. Yeah, people are going to see that as a bargain, even though it's expensive for a lot of people. I mean, me, like, I'm thinking maybe because I work on I'll just say it straight up. I make $40,000 a year, and that's really nothing. I can't buy a home off that, not by myself. But I'm sure there are people who make more than that. Not in this state though. Like in this state, we have a lot of middle class people. They work 2-3 jobs, and it's tough for a lot of people. Yeah, we have people like up in certain regions of the city and of the state that do make a lot of money. There's doctors. There's people who work a lot higher jobs, and but I still can't fathom anybody in New Mexico readily wanting to go, okay, yes, I will fork out $1,500 to take pictures of me half naked, and you give me prints in exchange. And what? But again, I can see it in states that are like on the coast where you got these pretty people that, I'm not saying we don't have it here because we have ugly people here that couldn't fork over that money. It's not that at all. But I just don't think we have the market here. When you go to California, there's a lot more people who are very, very into looking pretty and want to make themselves look pretty for their own self. And granted, on her Instagram, they're not all like supermodels that she photographs. There's people from all stripes, different ages, different body types, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And she makes beautiful pictures of people who they probably might have felt a little self-conscious and not don't feel too sexy. And what she does is she makes them feel sexy again, and that's a good thing. So it's really hard to kind of say this, but in New Mexico, again, we're not like California. We don't have loads of people who I just don't think we have the people who want to shell out that kind of money to try to make themselves feel beautiful. Yeah, they might feel confident in themselves. They might. Some people might have self-conscious issues. Some people have a lot of confidence, but when they go like, all right, I want to do a boudoir. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel pretty. I want to, make this for my boyfriend or girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. And but they'll look at that price and like, there's no way I could swing that. That's way too much money. I can't do that for $1,500. So all this is to say, in no way, shape, or form do I think I'm ready to be making $400,000 a year just doing boudoir photography. Because I want to do other photography. I want to branch out, and I want to do other things with my photography business if I ever get it off the ground. But also, I know you got to start slow. But at the same time, at the very end, if I want to make the big bucks, is I have to go where the money is, and New Mexico's not it. It's as simple as that, and I know that it's just not where we don't have it. Anyways, I'll leave a link to the video in the description if I remember correctly, and so you can check it out for yourselves. But it's very interesting that, wow, she makes bank just doing one thing. That's all for today, I think. I'll talk to y'all later. Everybody have a good day. I love you.